Meanwhile, in woke Wales, the Welsh First Minister Vaughan Gething has finally resigned, and as I predicted, he pulled the race card during his resignation speech. He said, and I quote, "He wants a place for people who look like me in politics," end quote. Now, in my view, that completely undermines the efforts and contributions of people who look like him in British politics for the past several decades. Now, Vaughan Gething has had to resign because of corruption, after he received money, a huge donation, from a convicted fraudster. Now, if Vaughan Gething had any professionalism and moral decency, he would have turned that money down, announced it to the Welsh Senedd and got on with his business, but he didn't. He took it, he got caught out, and lost a vote of no confidence, during which he cried like a baby in the middle of the Welsh Senedd. Now, Vaughan Gething was never voted into office by the Welsh public. Nobody wanted him. He was chosen by Mark Drakeford, and he was chosen for the obvious reason, but he's a DEI hire gone wrong. All the lefties in British politics and the mainstream media, they were too busy celebrating and making a big deal of his demographic rather than the fact that he was neck deep in corruption and scandal. And they say that Westminster is corrupt. Well, so's the Welsh Senedd. Listen, devolution hasn't worked at all in Wales. If anything, things are worse. They've never put their people first. And alarm bells should have rung really high when Welsh politicians declared that Wales was to be a sanctuary nation. And when they spent British taxpayers' money on woke vanity projects, there was never any money for anything meaningful and important to help the Welsh people. Instead, they just blamed Westminster and the Tories. Now, Vaughan Gething lasted 4 months as First Minister, and he has blamed everyone but himself for having to resign. He blamed everyone else for him taking money from a crook. He also blamed everyone else and had a minister sacked because he told a group of his politicians to delete WhatsApp messages, which included everything before the lockdown. And the fact that he refused to stand down after his vote of no confidence shows what utter contempt he has for the British political democratic system. He had absolutely no right whatsoever to stay on as Welsh First Minister and should have gone then. A vote of no confidence in a British Parliament means that the leader has absolutely no mandate whatsoever to do as he wishes, therefore significantly reducing his power and making him an ineffective leader. So why did he stay? He should have done the right thing and walked, and then an election in Wales to vote in democratically his replacement. But of course he didn't want that and subsequently denied the Welsh people their God-given right to democratically elect a new leader. And so it took 4 Welsh ministers to resign for him to eventually bugger off. And these people are hypocrites as well, because they all made speeches and letters saying what a nice guy Vaughan Gething is. He's lovely, really. When you get to know him, he's a super chap. And yet, in their same speeches and letters, they conclude by saying he has to resign because he's corrupt. My God, so which is it? And he's yet another of these politicians who pretends to be from a working class background when in fact he's had a very privileged life indeed. I once read somewhere that he said he was brought up in the Cardiff docks, when in fact he was brought up by middle class parents. His father was a vet and he grew up in Dorset. So yeah, Vaughan Gething has absolutely nothing in common with working class people at all. So he couldn't possibly understand them, especially the working class Welsh. So they're best rid of him, to be honest with you. The guy was useless, he was corrupt, he was naive, he was arrogant, and he was very entitled. And everything wrong with British politics today. And there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching. And until the next time, Roger Trout.